Oh, look at that. Okay, I don't know what alogna means. I did say, look at that. The captioner got confused. I don't know why. Anyway, guys, we're live. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back, fellow rumblers. Welcome back, fellow gamers. And welcome to my live stream where nothing special ever happens. Okay, so the message on the thumbnail is Elon Musk, game dev, because for those who don't know, Elon Musk recently posted on X that he is thinking, maybe planning of starting his own game development studio. And it's gonna be powered by AI. This past few years, I would always talk to my younger son that in the near future, both of us, we love playing games, but unfortunately, I don't think any of us can make a game. But sometimes we would talk and we would discuss about AI and gaming, and yeah, it's happening. A few more years from now, every layman or common folk can make their own game from just a prompt or from a description or an input. There will be an input field, just like in most AI tools out there. You enter a description of your game, and the AI will make it. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you. It's also gonna be the same with movies. In the near future, actors will no longer act on screen. They will just sell their likeness and voice. Yeah. Or license, not sell. Because you don't want to not own your own likeness. That is happening in the future. If you're an actor, you don't have to do any heavy lifting. Don't have to you don't have to go on set. They'll just take pictures of you and then record your voice, and then you license your likeness to the movie studios. And the movie studios will, well, they don't have to go on location. They can all create the magic in-house using computers. That is going to happen eventually. Maybe not in a few years, but maybe 1 or 2 decades from now, it's gonna happen. Unless, of course, unless, of course, the assholes in government decided that we all must die and starts World War III again. The normal people out there, you and I, we don't want war. But for some weird reason, those running the government are obsessed with starting wars, as if they're not gonna be affected by it. I don't get it. I don't understand politics. It's weird. And most of the time, it doesn't make any sense. I just like playing games. Okay, what do we have here? Also, my mouse is not working properly. I have a $10 mouse and it's not working properly. It means I need to replace it with another $10 mouse. I have a $10 keyboard and a $10 mouse. Amazing. My computer speaker is more expensive than my other peripherals because the speaker was gifted to me. I did not buy it. I will not buy anything expensive when the cheaper version will work properly. Although sometimes, well, if you are unlucky, sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll buy something cheap and it'll last you for years. But most of the time, they will only last you like maybe 1 or 2 years and then they eventually fail. Anyway, let's stop talking about that. I digress. Okay, here it is. This is the from Kauto. This is where I got the idea for the message on the thumbnail. Although I did see the the post made by Elon on X. Okay, going to check this one out. Also, this is my first time watching anything from Kauto. I have no idea who Kauto is. Kauto. Is it Kauto or is it Kauto? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it wrong. And, well, what can he do? Well, I guess he could get mad from for me mispronouncing his channel name.
The timeline that we are currently living in
Kauto.
is a very weird one, and I'm all for it. It seems like Elon Musk has decided to get into the video game industry now, and he's doing it by opening a game studio from his existing company called XAI that has been developing its own chat box called Grok, which works very similar.
Well, Grok is not just a chat box. By the way, guys,
AI and get a bunch of
I was able to try Grok Mini from another website. There is a website where you can try Grok Mini, and I think it's better than Chat GPT because in Chat GPT you can't talk about sensitive things. You can talk about things like maybe sex. You can't talk about that, even though you are legitimately asking for information regarding sex. And ChatGPT will most probably will think that it's inappropriate. But in Grok Mini, I was able to, go even, I guess you can say, perverted, and it was answering my queries. That alone made Grok better than ChatGPT. Because it means that Grok is not censoring itself. Maybe there are certain topics that Grok might not be able to discuss. I don't know. I have no idea what those topics are, but from the queries that I made with Grok, uh again, this is Grok Mini. It's not even the full version of Grok. I'm pretty sure the full version of Grok, the non-mini one, is more powerful than the mini version. Anyway, I digress again.
of information of whatever you want. Now this comes as Elon Musk said this a couple of days ago. Too many game studios that are...
There you go. See, that's the tweet or that's the post.
Start an AI game studio to make games great again. And he is quoting Shibetoshi Nakamoto, who
I still want him to buy EA.
Dogecoin according to his bio. And he says,
And I want him to
how game development
remake the Ultima series.
so ideologically captured.
I hope someone buys EA and remake the Ultima series.
Yes. Gamers have always rejected dumb manipulative BS and can tell when someone is an outside poser. Now, like I mentioned, XAI is most likely going to open a new division in order to accommodate this new game studio that Elon Musk wants them to.
This is a good exercise for the AI, for XAI.
Are looking
Imagine AI making games. We'll have an input field. The first thing I'm going to do is make me a game like Skyrim but set in modern times.
programmers, whatever it is. If you ask me, more competition is always welcome. It doesn't matter who you are, where you came from. As long as you want to tell a cool story or do a cool video game, more competition, especially these days, is more than welcome, even if it's Elon Musk, right? But this comes at a particular time where even, for example, Sean Layden, who was the ex-director at PlayStation, said something along the lines of there is a collapse of creativity in the industry. And I do suspect that this is mostly referring to specifically the West and most likely the UK and America. At least when looking at, for example, the nominees for Game of the Year this year, you see Astrobot, which comes from a French company, Balatro, which was made by one guy, Black Myth Wukong is made by a Chinese company, and all of these three games, Elden Ring, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Metaphor, were
Yeah.
Japanese studios.
The gaming industry is being saved by us in the East. So hooray to us.
Which was made by Ensemble.
Kudos to us.
Ask me,
Although I have no idea how to make games.
made by an American AAA
I did try
this year, apart from like
you know,
Call of Duty or whatever.
doubling in RPG Maker.
This company
I have like
actually do a video
a
game,
few mini games that I've created in RPG Maker.
Diablo 4 or Path of Exile.
One is a running game
Saying so
where,
to be learned from speedrunning video games on max difficulty.
what do you call this? Every level, it's a game where you are getting chased, basically. Made it in RPG Maker.
That's what she said.
And
I don't really know much about Diablo 4.
as you
Like at the very
progress into the game, it becomes more and more difficult, and the difficulty is
beginning, a certain
basically just adding more
dungeon of
chasers.
Diablo 4. It seems like there's
Eventually, you won't be able to dodge every one of them, and once you're caught, it's game over. It's basically just how long can you last.
in the top
It has a timer,
specific map, but it doesn't mean
so that is the. It doesn't have a what do you call this,
regardless, I think
a best time feature. I don't know how to add
it seems like he has a pretty good grasp on how
anything like that.
it works and how the mechanics work and everything. Because I mean, if he reached tier 150 and he can do certain dungeons or raids or whatever they're called in under 2 minutes in max difficulty, that shows that he's pretty good at the game at the very least. I mean, regardless, I mean, definitely there's a lot of companies out there that are dumping a ton of money into projects like Hyenas, for example, of Creative Assembly. $100 million.
The advantage of XAI or Elon Musk is that
Why are you spending so much money into
it's the AI that will make the game.
not even be released? And Hyenas
Will he employ
Concord or even
additional human beings to work on the gaming department of XAI, or
Dragon Age in the first place.
they'll just let XAI do all the heavy lifting?
Companies are more worried about their pockets than actually making great video games. I think there's also the issue that we're reaching a tipping point in the video game industry when it comes to
Well, the companies are doing it wrong.
last couple of years that
Of course, a business is created for the sole purpose of making profit.
can think of.
But the businesses are doing it wrong. What they should have done, or what they should do, is make a great and amazing game, because that will sell copies, and sold copies turn into money.
The problem is
It's not rocket science.
fidelity that is just unsustainable. And so other methods of innovation have to be looked for. One of them,
When it comes to the West, I think they're focused on, having graphics fidelity, like having 8K graphics. Do we really need 8K graphics?
obviously this might raise a lot of eyebrows.
When 1K, 2K graphics looks fine.
Implement AI in
That is the reason why I can't play most modern AAA games, because
pursue that and will most likely manage the game.
they require video cards with video RAM,
Is not
with like 16 GB video RAM.
people are very worried.
Oh my goodness.
I would say on how AI will be used in terms of, concept art, character animations, or even voice acting, environment art, doing everything when it comes to that, right? Suddenly, instead of most likely in the future needing, 50 people to do all of that, you might just need 10, which might leave a lot
You might just even need one that is super capable.
opportunities for more independent people to actually do stuff. So it's a double-edged sword, I would say.
One human being that is good in entering prompts.
In order to
A prompt engineer. That is a real job, by the way. If you go to LinkedIn
generic
and search for prompt engineer, there are businesses and companies that are searching for qualified prompt engineers.
remember seeing this
Where do you get
pretty famous
a degree for prompt engineering?
portrait using AI and other tools.
It doesn't exist.
Awesome. And I only realized it was made
But the job is there and it's waiting.
to me, but it looked really fucking good. So it's kind of like, how can I judge? But yeah, conclusion, I think Elon Musk doing a game studio is more than welcome. I'm very curious to see what he brings to the table. Let me know what you think about this whole thing.
Well, I think it's great. Yeah, more players in the gaming industry, more competition will bring out more, hopefully, innovative and creative and fun games. You can have an innovative game, but if it's not fun to play, then what's the point of having an innovation? Just make a fun game, I guess. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to XAI gaming, or is it X gaming? Okay, let's see what we have here. UB fired. Leaked Ubisoft CEO memo exposes big trouble following X Defiant. Ooh, X Defiant was marketed as the Call of Duty killer. I guess instead of them killing Call of Duty, they were the ones that got killed. How ironic. Okay, this is from Smash JT. Let's go check this out.
A leaked memo from Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot explains exactly what's transpiring behind the scenes over at Ubisoft right now and how the shutdown
Those leaking these things are also working in the company.
domino to fall of many.
Maybe a disgruntled intern.
Shocked to hear that.
Maybe one of those DEI infested employees or co-workers
This is the first
made fun of him, and the only way he could get back is by exposing their shit.
I believe Ubisoft is still out there, still putting these games together. Wokefest, DEI injected night.
Whoa, look at that. See the graph?
Nothing to do with it.
Wow.
Now
That is an amazing looking graph.
they're closing down studios.
It looks like a mountain peak.
How much worse could it get?
JT.
Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out SmashJT.com for the full article breaking down how this leaked memo from Yves Guillemot exposes far more than Ubisoft wanted to about the near-term and long-term future prospects of this company. Ubisoft, once a giant in the video game industry, is now teetering on the edge of full
Ubisoft!
all thanks to their diversity, equity, and inclusion ideology-driven insanity. Recent news has come through
Remember, DI
alongside
is meant to
studios in San Francisco,
divide people into groups.
the Sydney office,
And you can't have unity when you are divided. While everyone is trying to get everyone together,
find Ubisoft
DI want it's like the Tower of Babel or Babel, however you,
to employees at Ubisoft.
because everyone was united.
And
What did God do?
look forward to? Hello everyone. It's been some time since I last spoke to you.
The tower was destroyed,
Especially as the past months have
and everyone was given a different language,
likely each of you. The announcement by Marie Sophie regarding the discontinuation
which,
of Defiant, the
guess what, divided man.
Osaka studios, and the ramp down of the Sydney
Because they can't communicate with
we've had to make.
each other. They can only communicate to those with the same language.
Tremendous work done by Defiance teams, and he goes on talking about
I'm not saying those who are proponents of DI is God.
honest. Before even
No, they're not.
Ubisoft
They just like
to
to act like
putting
God.
it on Steam and trying to find a more solid foundational player base, they decided to push Ubisoft Connect and their online launcher service because Ubisoft saw the future of not owning games and trying
Game Pass is the reason why they want you in their subscription service.
this from day one.
Yeah.
Alongside plenty of
Because imagine if you have Game Pass, the last time I searched,
PC.
had 34 million subscribers.
Ubisoft saw
Imagine that. That is 34 million potential gamers
just like
or players of your game.
then they can make even more money off people.
Imagine if Veilguard got released in Game Pass.
Connect.
It wouldn't be
And while I'm
a
not
massive fail because it doesn't need to sell any copies.
down a little further where it says, I'm well aware that, given the current context, such announcements may worry you.
That is why I believe that
The entire industry
Avowed is not going to be a massive fail. Sure, the sales number
our organization has a
may not be big, but again, it's in Game Pass.
make more
34 million
and all
accounts
efforts are focused on
will have access
this course
to Avowed.
philosophy, which sounds great on the surface if you take Ubisoft at face value.
And those who are already subscribed to Game Pass,
But what he says
all they have to do, once the game is released,
thinking
is download and play.
will continue working on evolving our organization to adapt it to market changes and with a long-term perspective in mind. And you pair that with what he said just a few sentences earlier about how the entire video game industry is going through a dynamic shift right now and a downturn, and pairing that with, and we're going to adjust it to market conditions, tells me that they have a lot more layoffs coming up. Now, what I thought was really fascinating is how they talk about the employee surveys in this leaked memo. Over the past few weeks, I've had the chance to read the results of the Ubisoft
They're trying to appeal to the woke audience, the LGBTQ audience, the
You shared your question
PDF files out there.
future of Ubisoft via more
But sure, they are
than comments.
appealing to them, but they are losing their appeal to their general audience, their fans. They are losing their fans.
Out of the 86% of employees that participated, that's about 19,000 or so employees overall at Ubisoft, we're looking at about, I don't know, 2 to 3 questions and concerns per person. That's how concerned these people are working at Ubisoft right now. Yikes. Now, I can't really say I blame them. I'd be just as concerned. I talked about this in my live stream the other day where I'm just like, If I was an employee at Ubisoft right now, first off, I'd have gotten my resume ready and been looking for a while before this moment. But after what just transpired with X Defiant, I would be proactively, feet on the ground, knocking on doors, saying, hey, I got game industry experience. Yeah, I worked at Ubisoft. Don't worry about that. But I would love to find out more about this indie company and work with you guys because, I don't know. I'm just really taking a liking to a company that's not Ubisoft. Why should they be concerned? Well, Ubisoft announced that the closure of its San Francisco and Osaka production studios alongside the ramp down of Sydney production team resulted in laying off 277 employees while also transferring a large amount of people to other studios trying to keep them gainfully employed, at least for the time being. And I say for the time being because the cracks in Ubisoft's foundation go well beyond an individual game failures. Guimont's all-staff email hinted at a deeper systematic issue.
Are they going to change? I don't think so. They will stay the course
But his
because that was mandated to them by their overlords, those that controls the hive mind.
reactive than proactive and cutting costs to survive rather than addressing any of the root causes of the woes that they have. You know, pushing the whole diversity, equity, and inclusion thing as the priority.
They wouldn't blame DI because
Educational grants and scholarships and pushing females in the workforce instead of
they're afraid of the minority.
great games and make
That is a very weird concept.
is what your company is doing.
They are more afraid of the minority than
Feels like no matter how
the
many
majority of their
they keep
customers,
going back into
their gamers, their buyers, those who buy their games.
diversity, equity, inclusion here, which I guess we get to see the results of it, and nobody's really surprised. The lackluster performance of X Defiant forced Ubisoft to pull the plug, even though a few months ago they reassured everyone that it wasn't going anywhere. Don't worry about this, we're Ubisoft. We wouldn't lie to you. Well, they ended up lying to you. They've ceased all downloads and player registration.
Remember, they don't actually care. Okay. That's why it's best to not give them your money. That is the only thing that they care about.
Player base. And
Once they have no more money, eventually the well will
typically do to screw over customers.
dry up.
Keeping this game running until June 2025 for the current player base is nice. That's a good move by
They can still continue with what they're doing, which means they still have money to
minimal as
to
it
waste.
might be in the grand scheme.
It's like Disney.
X Defiant feels like the first tangible dominant
Disney will produce
larger line. Ubisoft's inability
9 crappy movies, 9 crappy MCU movies,
erosion of player trust tells everyone that
and then it will produce $1 billion movie.
every layoff in every single studio closure they have accelerates the
And
company
they will use the profit
a self-reinforcing
from the $1 billion movie, from the $1 billion movie,
nobody should be
to make
surprised when that global
9 more
because it almost feels
crappy MCU movies
seriously
or Disney movies.
ideologies, not just into their games, but into the company culture and the actual people that they're hiring that contributes directly to the downfall of quality of their games. We're seeing the results of that as gamers right now. This is what they wanted. Otherwise, why would they have done that? The craziest part about all of this is if Ubisoft's trajectory continues to go unchecked, the February 2025 release of Assassin's Creed Shadows could very well be the last major project that comes out of Ubisoft.
I just hope Kingdom Come Deliverance is an amazing game, because
They can make it that far in the first place. And I know it
if it is, it's gonna kill Avowed and Assassin's Creed Shadows.
point, but based off of everything I'm seeing right now, I don't really know
I hope that game is not another
if they tell me otherwise at this point either.
crappy
Leave it there. If you guys want more information, check
game for the modern audience.
article. I will link it in the description below. If you appreciate what I'm doing, hit that join button. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing.
I'd like to say a few words about internal issues that have come to light recently.
Sorry sir, I don't want to listen to you. I don't care. Okay, what is this? Woke Dev hates Asmon. Well, what's new? They don't know that Asmon is also woke. He's kind of base, but he's woke. He is, you can say, semi woke, or maybe he's in the center or something. He does believe that abortion is a good thing. So killing babies is a good thing. Remember, their idea of abortion is up to post birth, which is insane. That's why no one supports it. No one with common sense will support that. And they say that pro-life people are also insane because they want control of women's body. That is absolutely not true. Conservatives are just protecting the baby. Why are you going to abort a perfectly healthy baby just because you want it? It's an effing baby. And then again, they want it they want the provision to include post birth, which means the baby was already birthed. That is no longer abortion. That is like murder. They are insane. Again, with pro-life or conservatives, there are always exemptions when it comes to abortion. When it involves life or death situation, when it's from assault, sexual assault. What else? Say I forgot already. Okay, life and death. Uh, I'm forgetting the word. There is a word that I'm forgetting. It's one of the provisions. There are always exemptions, but with the pro-abortion group, honestly, the only reason I'm being honest here, the only reason they want it is because they just want to have sex like men with no consequence. So they get pregnant, they could go to the abortion clinic, abort the baby, and then do it again. It's insane. How is that rational? When there are contraceptives, although even the church, I believe the church doesn't really agree with contraceptives, but it's I guess socially accepted, so you can use that. And there's also like the natural contraceptive, which is using some kind of, I guess, when you know you're not fertile, something like that. Anyway, I digress. We're here to talk about games. I'm sorry about that. But then again, I guess those who are in favor of abortion up to post birth, um, I won't be surprised if they don't believe in God. I won't be surprised. It doesn't matter whether you're Christian or Muslim or whatever. Because the way they treat an embryo or a fetus or a baby in the womb is like they're treating it like an object that they can discard. They're treating it like a tumor that they can remove, which is insane. How is it a tumor? It's a freaking human being. By the way, if you're a Christian and you agree with abortion, maybe you should rethink your religion. I believe Satanism is recognized religion in the West. I wouldn't fault you for converting to Satanism, and it would explain. It would make sense. It would make sense. It would make more sense because it wouldn't make sense if you're calling yourself a Christian and you are pro-abortion, even up to the post-birth. It doesn't make sense. It would make sense if you don't believe in any religion, or it would make better sense if you are a member of the Satanist church. Again, it's a recognized, I believe, I could be wrong, it's a recognized religion in the West, maybe in the States. Not sure about Europe. I just read it somewhere. Maybe I saw a short. Not really interested in things like that, but I do see it, or I have seen it appear somewhere. I'm not actively looking for information regarding that kind of church. Anyway, again, I digress. Moving on. Okay, what do we have here? Woke Dev triggered Asmongold mouthwashing. Grand Theft Auto 6. Ooh, what is this? From Endymion. I'm going to watch this one from Endymion. This one from the old man right here. I'm calling him an old man when I guess we're both the same age, or maybe close. He just looks older though because he has like a white beard, and fortunately my hair is still black. And I usually don't have a beard. I don't like growing my beard because I would look like one of those Asian caricature that you'll see. You know, the old Asian caricature like in Marvel, the Mandarin, something like that. For some weird reason, if I grow my beard and mustache longer, it would look like that. And I would look like a villain. Again, I digress.
Hey everyone, it's Endymion, and today,
Hey, Endymion,
so
what do we have here?
Theft Auto 6 is. We know it's coming in 2025, and there's an insane amount of hype behind it.
Woo! Okay, let's see.
Much information about Rockstar that it
By the way, another AAA game that I won't be playing on release. Obviously, this game is not gonna run on my PC. GTA 5 runs well on my PC, by the way. It runs well.
Francesco
The only reason why I'm not playing GTA 5 or GTA Online right now is because of the freaking Battle Eye.
little goofy, but
I don't know what happened, but Battle Eye is crashing my PC.
coming together. And if anyone has any information on GTA, Rockstar, or any other game, Francesco can relay with you and get that information sorted in a very good manner. I trust him, and so should you. So shout out to him, thanks again, and let's now get into this info that he's helped me gather. So the big reason is because a lot of
Look at the graphics fidelity.
GTA 6 and specifically
That's all
Rockstar gone woke.
high resolution, super high resolution
The law
textures.
is it's a
That is the 300 GB
Firstly, we need to explain how
of the game.
down at Rockstar currently and before. 3 of the Rockstar greats left the company ranging between 2020 to 2021. These guys' names are Dan Houser, Laszlo Jones, and Michael Unsworth. These guys were all instrumental in making literally everything that Rockstar has pretty much made up until now. Dan Houser left Rockstar, which was weird because he founded the company with his brother. And then he went off and made another game studio, and then Laszlo...
That's why you don't sell your companies to a
They
corporation.
all leave. Well, friends, I have your answer.
Because the big boys,
Do you know what
or the big corporation
DEI is?
will destroy it.
Now another term that we have to add to the list. DIB, or diversity, inclusion, and belonging, is something that has ravaged through Rockstar like a tornado in the past few years. So we're going to start with Stacy Gordon.
So instead of inclusion, they're using the word belonging.
Let me show you things and then we can discuss it. But Stacy Gordon is a self-proclaimed
More wordplay.
evangelist for inclusion. That's her words, not mine. Stacy is also a voice in gender equity, a keynote speaker, and pushes programs that, for lack of a better word,
Inclusion.
mind virus courses that are designed to
Only if you agree with their thoughts.
minds
If not, you are excluded.
are actually racist and must atone for their sins, as Stacy states here. Privilege is hard to talk about, yet it's as pervasive and important as oxygen. It's like bias. Everyone has some type of privilege, just as everyone carries some type of bias. So why is it so hard to talk about? Why do people, particularly white people, get defensive about privilege? And how can we use the privileges we have to advocate for people who don't have the same access? She then shows her podcast.
I'm trying to educate all of you now. Okay, guys, if you see DEI,
What? But
the I is inclusivity or inclusion.
Gordon also
Their definition of inclusion is not what they publish the definition is.
and must be lifted
The definition, the real and active definition of inclusion means
to the big root of the
you are excluded if you don't agree with us,
is something
which is, in common folk word, is
means you are biased
bigotry.
without knowing it. But it turns out this DEI stranglehold has actually gripped Rockstar for years now and is choking the entire studio to death. This unconscious bias, by the way, is not just some random thing, but what Francesco was able to discover was that it was actually a mandatory course that was pushed onto employees of Rockstar. Which ones, you may be asking? You can probably guess it, but it was exclusively pretty much only white employees who work at Rockstar right now that were put through this course. As seen here on LinkedIn, connecting Rockstar's LinkedIn account to this Stacy Gordon's unconscious bias tag here, it immediately pings 60 members of Rockstar Games. Francesco was able to go through these, and based on what he found of the 60 employees forced to take this unconscious bias course in order to gain a certificate, around 58 of them were white people. The other 2 of these 60 people were of Asian descent, but this course was being pushed onto Rockstar employees coincidentally around the same time that Dan Houser, Laszlo Jones, and Michael Unsworth left Rockstar back in 2020 to 2021, which coincides with when a lot of the DEI woke ESG money was entering the game industry at an alarming rate. Effectively meaning that right now, as it stands, Rockstar is completely infected with woke pandering DEI initiatives that have ran through a whole swath of white employees almost exclusively into admitting, submitting, then receiving a certificate to confirm their own unconscious racist bias according to these woke grifters who are infesting Rockstar right now at insane rates. One of these white employees is Michael P., an associate art director at Rockstar Games. He's been with the company for well over 20 years at this point, as you can see on screen right here. And to prove that he's been thrown through this,
That's why you don't
you can also see here that Michael P. had the
become loyal to your company, because the company is not loyal to you.
and we also have a time
You
frame
make a mistake
2022
or
just over
management changes,
all the former heads of Rockstar evacuated the
they will get rid of you.
this DEI takeover. Another employee here named Heather, who is also a senior employee at Rockstar and of course is a white person also, has the unconscious bias certification listed on their LinkedIn as well. What's crazy is we are actually able to find and access the unconscious bias learning program and then look into it, discovering that yes, Stacy Gordon is the person behind this program, but it gets worse. As I scroll down, you can see how this course is designed to shame you into compliance. The most alarming and worst part was finding out that as of the making of this video, that 445,948 people have taken and completed this course. You heard that right. Now this number is not just games, I would assume. But
That is a lot of people, my goodness.
great for
That is a lot of new zombies
her product to
added to the hive mind.
of the modern working world.
How can we consciously address bias as we move through our workplaces and lives? While there is a clamor for action, action without awareness leads to inauthentic and performative behavior that repeats the cycle of systemic inequality. In order to be aware of when
There's no such thing.
we
Just do good work.
happening,
If you have a good idea,
you distress or feeling hopeless, I invite
make your good idea happen. Turn it into reality.
My name is Stacey Gordon. I'm an executive advisor to senior leaders in the field of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. I spent years working in Fortune 500 companies and nonprofit organizations specializing in diversity and inclusion. And today, I hope to bring awareness to the topic of unconscious bias. In this course, we're going to talk about unconscious bias and the impact it has on business.
My unconscious bias is
Large
good games,
workplace processes and
fun,
environments. So you'll
fun games,
notice the effects of bias in your workplace, in your schools, and in your communities.
and
Is what is
ideas and thoughts that doesn't try
here
to
last course. I'm going to ask you several questions.
confuse and divide people.
You write down your thoughts as we go. So grab a notebook or a writing tablet and let's get started.
How does it feel to have lived long enough to see all of your favorite franchises go down in flames?
Feels great.
But if you were to just take Rockstar as a size and quantify how many people have been brainwashed into taking this course to renounce their skin color, gender, or whatever else, in the name of woke absolution, this course equates to around 222 full Rockstar teams worth of people that have opened their minds to this program. These are the sorts of things that are ruining video games, friends, but
Open your eyes
we also have the
and see
diversity, inclusion, and belonging.
your loving motion
Over 1,125,840
when it's cold
this video have been forced,
outside.
which is a staggering amount of professionals being filtered through DEI programs by their companies to renounce either their whiteness, their advantages, or biases in the name of the agenda. I mean, just listen to the official description of the unconscious bias agenda, and I quote, "We're all biased, our experiences shape who we are, and our race, ethnicity, gender, height, weight, sexual orientation..."
Of course, everyone has a bias, but why is your bias better than our bias or my bias?
Stacey Gordon helps you recognize and acknowledge your own biases so that you can identify them when making decisions and prevent yourself from making calls based on a biased viewpoint. Stacey Gordon explains some of the most common forms that a bias takes: affinity bias,
Yeah, for example, my bias is, that guy is doing something bad. So my bias tells me that I should stay away or avoid that person.
in decision-making processes. Finally, she outlines strategies for overcoming personal and organizational.
Look at this guy.
Back to this whole
He assaulted,
but we also got
sexually assaulted 10 children.
Francesca was able to
My bias tells me that maybe we shouldn't
the last 2 years.
hire him as
A lot of this is
a
that
kindergarten teacher.
new hires are coming from a
Stupid ass bias, stupid ass.
that being Behavior Interactive. In case you don't know, Behavior Interactive is a studio that was responsible for games
They're just stupid.
to the casting of Frank Stone, Meet Your Maker, and even worked on other projects such as Mortal Kombat 1, Immortals of Avium, Gears 5, Rainbow Six Extraction, Borderlands the pre-sequel, Call of Duty Vanguard, and many more. In case you don't know, also Behavior Interactive is home to DEI agenda pushes like the Wheel of Privilege 2. They are also originally located in Montreal in Canada, the same exact city that Sweet Baby Inc. operates out of.
Yeah, everything that is
Privilege thing, we have this fandom
bad.
Sylvia Duckworth, which I covered
It looks like it's coming from
this wheel that
the country up north, the US.
they are. And fellow YouTuber Smash JT found recently too that this Sylvia Duckworth has published books praising black people specifically, and has even made books pushing trans stuff onto children through picture books. All of this is funded and created by behavior.
Why is a children's book talking about a vagina?
To force behaviors into games themselves and more. And many of the games that I showed that they are a part of have characters where women are favored, like Gears of War 5.
You publish something like that 20, 30 years ago, you'll go to jail.
So now that you know who and what behavior stands for, let's circle back to Rockstar. Like I said, many people from that studio are now working at Rockstar coincidentally around the same time Dan Houser and the rest left the company in the past few years. One of these people is Wendy Enriquez Donasaint, who is a director of talent acquisition at Rockstar Games currently. Wendy confirms on LinkedIn here where it says Wendy Enriquez Donasaint is the director of human resources and talent acquisition at Bethesda Game Studios. Wendy has over 15 years of experience in human resources and talent acquisition. Wendy started their career as a recruiter at Behavior Interactive in 2005. And now, as we know, she has now moved on to Rockstar, becoming the head of hiring for that company. As you can see here, she's been at Rockstar for almost 2 years now, again, coincidentally, around the same time Dan Houser and such leave. She then becomes head of talent acquisition. Isn't that weird to anyone else that all of these people, these initiatives, these programs, certificates, all of it immediately enters Rockstar as soon as the original people leave? Well, maybe this Wendy person isn't tied to DEI, even though she comes from Behavior and is working at Rockstar. Well, we were able to also find out that Wendy's sister here, Ingrid Enriquez Donasaint, has published books about representation and inclusivity as well. Ingrid, like I said, who is the sister of Rockstar's talent acquisitions director, even calls herself a grand strategist.
Being seen. Oh my goodness, it's all about me. Me. Look at me. I'm here. I want to be seen.
They use a combination of emic, insider, and etic, outsider approaches to describe the cultures they study.
That book will not work for me because I like being left alone.
People in their natural settings. They immerse themselves in the social group they are studying.
But these people,
There's that word again.
they're so self-absorbed. They are self-centered. They think the world revolves around them.
Lady's sister wrote a book. So what? Well, there's more. Here's Ingrid Enriquez Donasaint, where she would write things for TamTam, which is like some other thing that's to do with DEI stuff, but anyway, which would focus on exclusively representation and stereotypes. These sisters who are attached to Rockstar are all about diversity, equity, and inclusion. It also doesn't help with this excerpt written by Ingrid, which reads, "Be aware of blind spots or be humble enough to discover those you didn't know were there. Build alliances with experts and consumers with soft spots different from yours, ethnography, to enrich your lens, but also to give you substance to craft relatable stories to other people and not just the same old two white folks." So the person in charge of who gets hired at Rockstar that worked at Behavior has a sister who is an ethnographer that writes books and theses about how we must deconstruct whiteness in the world, but it gets worse, so let's keep going. Remember how I said a lot of people from Behavior suddenly joined Rockstar? Here's a soft...
They hate white people when white people
It's Behavior, of course.
are not the
Stuff like donations for racial injustice.
majority
Oh boy, isn't that just wonderful? Sometimes the talent
in the world. I think it's Asian.
like Apurva Sharma here, who works in talent acquisition
There's like,
Rockstar,
what, 2 billion?
advocate on her
Or
public.
maybe it's
Apurva's LinkedIn states in her own words.
the other country with also 2 billion population.
Game development roles at Rockstar Games. I
I
believe
think if you combine all the white folks,
experience and celebrate
it wouldn't even reach 1 billion.
an inclusive environment. I am
I don't think so.
connecting talented individuals to their dream roles that fulfill, challenge, and value them. And they're open about DEI and advocating for inclusive environments, which is technical speak for we don't want white people here, only diverse
The
people.
world is not controlled by white people.
Powers Lee, a
If we just rely on numbers alone.
publicly that she wants all Trump supporters to drop dead, as you can see right
It may look like that because most of
America to just be wiped
the
out.
advancement in modern technology
Another talent actor
were made by white folks. I'm not saying that other races did not contribute anything. It's just that
has openly
that's
admitted
why we see that's why I guess they are targeted.
here because of course she does. Diane
Imagine this. Imagine if
openly admits in her LinkedIn that she advocates for
China is the center of
to be one of her core skills that is
culture and not the West.
him, who works at Rockstar. And what do you think he
What are
specializes
they going to? They're going to complain about. I guess they're going to target
used to work
Asians
and
then.
organizes key employee events
This is so
and
stupid.
diversity and inclusion efforts as a DEI leader. So this guy's entire job and skill set at Rockstar is to ensure places are more diverse and inclusive. And all of these people are in charge of Rockstar's culture and hiring, by the way. Then of course you have Max here, who also works at Rockstar, who's only been there for about 2 months as of the making of this video. Max has also made it clear on her position with Gamergate 2, where she reposted another person which says, "It's upsetting that many of my closest friends on this platform have stopped posting as women because of the harassment stemming from Gamergate 2.0. They've shared experiences of being called diversity hires, being told they're only hired for their appearance and as eye candy, and even having doctored media created with their faces on offensive and inappropriate content." I mean, it's not wrong to call people diversity hires, especially at Rockstar. This video alone has shown that there is an overwhelming amount of agenda that is pushing and happening at Rockstar right now. As for being called eye candy, I mean, I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but it's very obvious people are being hired based on race and gender at Rockstar. That cannot be denied. Then, of course, there's one of the more senior people in this video named Vivi Langdon, who has also publicly stated that they hate people who don't agree with trans identity or anything like that.
Inclusivity. See? The word they use is hate.
Vivi has
They hate people that don't agree with them.
doesn't care about trans people, which I don't
Textbook definition of
you would get
bigoted.
instantly on Twitter.
Go look it up.
Anywhere else, if you said anything about any
Go look it up. Use Google. Google is a woke search engine. So if you use Google, it will also tell you the same thing. I'm not lying.
is obviously someone who is pro censorship, of course, too. Because here's Vivi advocating for people to report another user on Twitter for not validating their gender identity. Great. Totally rational behavior there. Another Rockstar employee, whose name is Emily, said via Twitter that they're glad Rockstar removed any negative depictions of trans people from GTA 5 when they released the enhanced edition of the game. In case you didn't know, Rockstar went back and removed any and all traces of what was considered transphobic from GTA for PS5, Series X, and such. As you can see here in this The Gamer article, this was all patched out from jokes, character models, and interactions with what was considered not socially acceptable by the standards of today. Notice also that
Why is it the socially acceptable standard when it comes to the minority of people? It doesn't make sense. Come on, people, open your eyes, please.
from places like
Why is it the morally
that many white
accepted standard when it's mandated by the minority and not the majority?
privileges in the name of wokeness? So GTA 5 went from being a game that's a part of a series that satirizes and makes fun of everyone to suddenly not being allowed anymore to make jokes about certain individuals the moment
It's time for the silent majority to make some noise.
the entire
Because if the silent majority just stays silent forever,
they'll still
they will one day wake up or log in online and see the world they are expecting to see is no longer there. It has been replaced by something else.
that demanded that Rockstar remove any mention of transphobia from the game in 2022, right around the time when Dan Houser left as well. And by the way, that Emily Evans lady who worked at Rockstar and celebrated when the company removed the so-called trans content, oh, would you look at that, under her licenses and certifications, she has the unconscious bias course in her LinkedIn because of course she does. I mean, she's a white person after all. Here's another developer named Flavio who also works at Rockstar. And there it is again, unconscious bias course certification because he's a white game developer. I wish I was kidding, but this is really happening. If you're not willing to play by their rules, they will just simply crush you with demands until you submit. There's also Austin Ruda, a senior production coordinator at Rockstar who also, big surprise like many others, used to work at Behavior Interactive. This dev via Blue Sky says that he hates Gamergate people too, not seeing garbage sponsored posts from grifters, rage baiters, and right-wing stooges every other post is so nice, man. WTF, pure bliss. So there's a lot of liberal, pro-DEI, pro-censorship people at Rockstar right now. Yep, sorry to break it to you all, guys. Here's
In our country,
things too with all
we had a revolution
people do as well. Then the final person here is named Craig, and he's
just to gain
quite
freedom of
100%
expression.
But he's been very
freedom
vocal
of speech.
exposed to trans stuff.
People literally
He's
died
a Scottish dev
to fight for the right to have
he added
freedom of
that everyone
expression.
should understand how to feel.
And this supposedly intelligent people are
Guys, I'm not gonna lie to you. And here's Craig yelling
trying
at the
to
party saying children don't need mothers.
take it away from everyone.
Has such a fixation on children and stuff. He also calls the government homophobic here, and then just starts posting a bunch of trans and rainbow flags whenever parties within Scotland want to push for traditional family values and such. And then the Scottish party shares a video to show how families make babies, I guess. And Craig doesn't like this because I guess they're pushing heterosexual relations, I suppose. It's super weird, dude. I don't know what to make of this guy specifically, to be real with you. But as you can see from all the info presented here, that Rockstar is definitely more than knee-deep in DEI initiatives right now across the entire company. They are full of activists who are pushing DEI, wokeness, weird kid family stuff, and hiring people in droves from companies that also push the same sort of ideologies. The unconscious bias thing was a big part of the scoop because whenever people claim that white devs specifically are not being targeted or forced to comply to the beliefs or whims of others, I mean, it's just simply not true. White developers are absolutely getting strangled by this industry to comply to these insane demands. As I'm told by some sources too, since I might as well add it here while I'm making this, GTA 6's story should mostly be kept intact from when Dan Houser and such wrote it like they did every other GTA game in Red Dead story. But this doesn't mean things couldn't be changed, of course, and I would mostly worry about the post-launch future of GTA 6 than anything else.
Just don't buy it. That is the safest bet. Just don't buy it. Just don't give them your money. That is the only thing these corporations will listen to. Once the money goes away, hopefully they'll realize that all this woke crap is actually crap, and it's not just a myth. Okay, so I want to check out this video from Dark. It's about David Jaff. I don't know. But unfortunately, the hour is over. That's it for the hour. The timer went off. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thank you for watching. Follow the channel in Rumble if you're in watching in YouTube or Twitch. I doubt it. I doubt it. But if you are in YouTube or in Twitch, you can please consider watching the channel or going to Rumble and following the channel there. So guys, thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye for now. Oh, remember, you have the power. You have the power. I don't know what the song is, but you have the power. And with your powers combined, they won't be able to do crap.